and good morning. So today I just wanted to talk about customer expectations. We're at the end of this job, and basically we're wrapping it up. Touch-ups, minor details, right? This project dragged on a little bit longer than expected because of the things that the customer's been wanting as we've been proceeding, like this little mantle in this entertainment center that we have over here. This wasn't part of the deal, but it kind of came after that the customer had a good idea, and when we went with it, but it boils down to always making sure that you keep the customer happy, right? I think in my experience in this field, right, a lot of times contractors have this bad rep with certain customers because of prior contractors coming in and doing certain things to these customers, right? A lot of times it's like a bad unmendable relationship, like when a girlfriend hurts you, you know, like when a girl hurts the guy, it's kind of hard once he gets to the next girl, she carries all the baggage from the last girl. It's the same thing with the contractors, like, you know, they leave a sour taste with the customer, next contractor comes along and basically carries all the baggage from the last contractor. So what I try to do, and especially in this day and age with everything that's going on with social media, with all these avenues that we have to be able to portray the type of work that we do, to show, hey, this is the type of quality of work that we're doing, this is what we do on a daily basis, this is how we run our jobs. And I make it very accessible for the public to see the type of work that we're doing, the type of work that we're gonna start doing, and basically also give out a few pointers for those up and coming contractors that, you know, probably are starting out or thinking about starting out and necessarily need a little bit of direction. Then I'm here for that, right? Because I know YouTube and other social media platforms were my go-to when I needed help or learning something, right? I know that we aren't all as lucky as some people to know everything and to have somebody there to kind of like guide them through a lot of these processes. And for the rest of us, we have YouTube. So you know, I wanted to just go through the way that I kind of do my jobs with the customers so that they have a good experience, so that they know what they're getting into pre and after. So, you know, this job in itself dragging on is not a big factor. The factor is how, as things change and progress through the job, how you approach the customer about, you know, the change order, how you're gonna talk to them about why this is gonna cost much, and it's just a guiding process, right? I think the best way is, if you're starting a job and you have in your contract one certain type of scope of work and the customer happens to want to change certain things, you just got to drive them back to what it is that they signed. So if it's not in the scope of work, it's considered a change order. If it's considered a change order, you obviously can charge more for it, or if you choose to, or if you don't, you just want to make sure you put the change order on the scope of work. So if you guys ever got to drive back to it, you say that was one of the parts of the things that were included after the fact or during the scope of work. You know, there's a lot of things that I think can be taught. I mean, I'm gonna touch on what I'm saying about right now. But few things you want to do before you go and you tell the customer that it's done, it's touch-ups. You hit up every corner, every crevice that you see, and see if there's any touch-ups, if there's any things that they can come back and if you could see it, 90% of the time they could see it. So don't try to put a blind eye to it and pretend like it's not there. If you see it, they're gonna see it. So might as well take care of it as soon as you see it. That way it doesn't become something else later, right? This job in itself, like if you see the flooring, it's on like a V shape. Like from corner to corner, and that's the way that the customer wanted it. But it's a very authentic design, very hard to manage. Not a lot of people can do it. My team took 4 times the time that a regular flooring would have took because of the type of design that I have, right? But not an issue, right? It's one of those things where you talk to the customer and you let them know, hey, you know what, we don't do these floors as much, but when we do, now we know that it takes a little bit longer, so because of that, it's gonna cost such, right? And the other thing that we're kind of proud of, like everything's got repainted, everything looks really flawless, it looks clean. But all that can go away with one simple spec, one simple little, you know, detail that I can potentially drive back. You know, something like this, obviously that's gonna get touched up. So, you know, especially when they have like this room, we're really proud of. I like how it kind of, the context, the color from the green to the white and the flooring, it really kind of ties in together, and the way the way that the doors kind of complement the whole, you know, as some people say, the design aspect of it. So it kind of like really looks good to me. But we're as you're looking around, if the customer happens to, you know, notice little things, have them put a little piece of tape, like right here. We might need to put a little bit of touch up on it's just a little bit of white, a little bit of dust. But yeah, that's another thing. Dust the walls done. When we're done, I tell my guys to clean up as best they can. It's not really their job, it's my job for the house to be, you know, completed and turned in clean. So their job is to maintain a clean work area. I'm not telling you to just basically run a rampage and leave your stuff and tools everywhere, but I'm more or less making sure that you keep a tidy work spot, and then when it's time to wrap it up, you know, pick everything up, clean up as much as you can, but hire an outside company to come in and, you know, make sure that it ties up all those small details that are gonna be there once you know, pick up everything and leave. On the bathroom, this bathroom is the second time we're doing this. Initially, we were hired to demo it out, basically rip it out, and add a shower pan. It had, I think, it had a shower pan as well, but it was just basically ripped out. We added the shower niche line on the right here on the niche, and we put a waterproofing membrane, did everything accordingly, and the customer had a relative who started the tile, and as he was going, the tile was just coming out horrible, and he had to spend all this money, and he just wasn't comfortable with how it was looking. So he approached me and asked me if we would just rip it out and start all over, and have us do it. So that's what we're doing right now. This is the second time putting all this back together, but now it's coming along good. So far we just got the flooring. We just gotta make sure that everything else is tied in. A lot of times when these showers, right, if you're not careful and if you don't level out your walls right, by the time you end up right here, you have like a gap. And that's something that we've encountered in the past, but we have a way of solving that. And we'll probably make another video on this once it's done. But for now, right, make sure that you guys follow your contracts. Make sure that everything that you guys kind of put in accordance with on the final scope, before you're gonna turn in everything, make sure all your trash is out of the way too. Like, you know, typically trash will pile up in the outside. That's why we have the dump trailer here. We'll take everything. This thing won't roll up till we are all out of here. So the day that we're rolling out with everything clean is the day this dump trailer just rolls out with it. Because it's been my experience as well, is like, if you keep taking these trailers out of the job, trash just amounts, it looks bad, doesn't give you a professional look. So if you don't have a trailer, that's probably your next investment, is something like this, to make sure that you can keep a clean scope of area. And yeah, so other than that, that's pretty much, that's all I got for today. I'll probably put another video up in the next couple of days.